Good morning students, I am Dr. R. Balasubramani. Now we are going to discuss about taxable income from house property. There are 5 heads of income. They are income from salary, income from house property, income from business or profession, income from capital gain and income from other sources. Among the 5 heads of income, income from house property is second head of income. The basis of charge. The basis of calculating income from house property is annual value. Any income from property will be taxable under the head of income from house property based on the fulfillment of certain conditions. The conditions are, first one, a property consists of any building and land appurtenant thereto. Appurtenant means vacant land. That means any building along with vacant land is treated as house property, and the property must be owned by an assessee, and the property should not be used by an assessee for his own business or profession. If it is used by an assessee, for his own business or profession, it will not be treated as house property income, it will be treated as business income. There are some exceptions. Certain property will not be considered as house property, and any income from such property will not be taxable under the head of house property income. The properties are, first one, any building and staff quarters let out to employees or some others by a concern, and any amount of rent received from such property will not be treated as house property income. And second one, any composite building and other assets let out to some other person and received any amount of rent from such property will not be treated as house property income, it will be treated as income from other sources. Then any income from paying guest accommodation will not be treated as house property income. Then any facility provided by a club to its members will also not considered as house property income. Then types of house property income. Here house property income can be classified into 3 categories. One is self-occupied house property, another one is let out house property, another one is deemed to be let out house property. First one, self-occupied house property. The house property which is owned by the assessee and occupied by the assessee for his own self-residential purpose. That house property is treated as self-occupied house property, and any income from such property will be taxable as income from self-occupied house property. Then second one, let out house property. The property which is owned by an assessee is let out to some other person and received any amount of rent from such property will be treated as let out house property. Then third one, deemed to be let out house property. During the particular previous year, if an assessee occupies more than one house property for his own residential purpose, in that situation any one of the house property is treated as self-occupied house, and remaining house property or properties will be treated as deemed to be let out house property. Actually, that particular house property is not let out, but it is assumed as let out house property. The next one, determination of gross annual value. The income from house property is not determined on the basis of actual rent received from the tenant. It is determined only on the basis of gross annual value of the house property. To determine the gross annual value, the following values should be considered. First one, municipal value. It means it is fixed by the local authority to levy tax against the property. It is called as municipal value. Then second one, fair rental value. It is a rental value of similar house in the same locality. Then third one, standard rent. It is a rent fixed by the Rent Control Act. Then fourth one, actual rent. It means actual amount of rent received from the tenant by the house owner. Then determination of gross annual value. The gross annual value can be computed in two different situations. The first situation is if there is any vacancy and if there is no vacancy. First situation is if there is no vacancy. That means if the entire 12 months period the house was occupied by the tenant, the gross annual value of the house property can be computed as follows. First, we should consider municipal value. Then that municipal value should be compared with the fair rental value. Then whichever is high should be taken into account. Then that particular higher value should be compared with expected rent. Then the should be compared with expected rent. Here the expected rent should be compared with actual rent. Whichever is high is considered as gross annual value. For an example, here the municipal value is 2,30,000. The municipal value is compared with the fair rental value, whichever is high. The higher value is 2,50,000. Then higher value of 2,50,000 is compared with the standard rent. Here the standard rent is 2,30,000. Whichever is low to be taken into account, that is called as expected rent. Then that particular expected rent should be compared with the actual rent received from the tenant. Here the actual rent is 2,40,000. Expected rent is 2,30,000. Whichever is high will be considered as the gross annual value. It is a gross annual value of the let out house property in case of no vacancy. Then let us see the example of if there is any vacancy. That means computation of gross annual value at the time of any vacancy during any part of the previous year. Here the municipal value is 2,30,000 and the fair rental value is 2,50,000. Whichever is high is considered as the value 2,50,000. Then the higher value was compared with the standard rent 2,30,000. Whichever is low is considered here. 2,30,000 is termed as expected rent. Then the expected rent should be compared with the actual rent. Here the actual rent is 2,40,000 per annum. That means 20,000 per month. 20,000 per month. Here the house was vacant for the period of 3 months. So the landlord or the assessee can receive only rent for the period of 9 months. So actual rent received from the tenant 1,80,000. So the actual rent of 1,80,000 was compared with the expected rent here. The actual rent is the gross annual value. That means if there is any vacancy during the particular previous year, the gross annual value will always be the actual rent. The gross annual value will always be actual rent. This is the pro forma. Already we know that there are 3 types of house property. One is self-occupied, another one is let out, another one is deemed to be let out house property. Here the pro forma for self-occupied house property, that means computation of house property income. So here the gross annual value. The gross annual value of the house property, that means self-occupied house property, is always nil. Then from the gross annual value, the assessee is eligible to claim municipal tax as deduction. Here municipal tax is also nil. Then the difference between the gross annual value and the municipal tax is termed as net annual value. Here the net annual value is also nil. So from the net annual value, every assessee is eligible to claim deduction under section 24. Here the first deduction is standard deduction. it is a statutory deduction. If there is any net annual value, from the net annual value, that particular assessee can claim 30% as standard deduction, 30% as standard deduction. Then second one, interest on loan, interest on loan. Here, any interest paid during the particular previous year for the loan taken by an assessee to purchase a house property or construct a house property or repair or renovation of house property can claim as deduction, can claim as deduction. Here the interest on loan can be claimed as deduction maximum of 30,000 or maximum of rupees 2 lakhs. That means if a loan was taken by an assessee before 1/4/1999, the interest amount for deduction should not exceed rupees 30,000. If any amount beyond 30,000 will not be eligible to claim deduction, whereas if loan is taken on or after 1/4/1999, the maximum amount of deduction is rupees 2 lakhs, is rupees 2 lakhs. The next one, this is the pro forma for computation of house property income for deemed to be let out house. As usual, gross annual value, here the gross annual value is there. Already you know that how to determine the gross annual value. So after determining the gross annual value, that particular assessee is eligible to claim deduction municipal tax. Then the difference between the gross annual value and municipal tax is termed as net annual value. Then from the net annual value, that particular assessee is eligible to claim deduction under section 24. One is standard deduction, another one is interest on loan. Let us see the detailed discussion about interest on lien. Then third type of income, let out house. This is the pro forma for computation of house property income for let out house. So first we should find out the gross annual value. From the gross annual value, that particular assessee is eligible to claim municipal tax and unrealized rent as deduction, as deductions. So first one, from the gross annual value, that particular assessee is eligible to claim deduction for the payment of municipal tax. So any amount of municipal tax paid by the owner of the house property during the particular previous year is eligible to claim deductions from the gross annual value. If the municipal tax paid for the previous year, or if it is paid for the preceding previous year, or if it is paid for the succeeding previous year, whatever it may be, any amount of municipal tax paid during the particular previous year is eligible to claim deduction from the gross annual value. Then here the municipal tax includes service tax, fire tax, water tax, conservancy tax, health and education tax, etc. For example, here the municipal tax was paid by the owner during the particular previous year rupees 18,000 and paid by the tenant during the particular previous year 14,000. Here the municipal tax paid by the owner only is eligible to claim deduction from the gross annual value. Any amount of municipal tax paid by the tenant is not eligible to claim deductions from the gross annual value. Here he was paid 18,000 totally as municipal tax. Out of 18,000, rupees 4,500 is paid for the year 18-19. Rupees 4,500 was paid for the year 2019-20 and 9,000 was paid for the year 2020-21. But he was paid rupees 18,000 during the previous year 2019-20. Okay. Then second one, from the gross annual value, after deducting the gross annual value, after deducting the municipal tax, that particular assessee is also eligible to claim deduction for unrealized rent. Unrealized rent means the amount of rent which could not be recovered from the tenant during the particular previous year is termed as unrealized rent. So computation of house property income. So from the gross annual value, so here the gross annual value 2,40,000. From the gross annual value, the municipal tax paid by the tenant 18,000 was claimed as deduction. Then unrealized rent rupees 12,000 was claimed as deduction. Then after deducting the municipal tax and unrealized rent from the gross annual value, the remaining value is termed as net annual value. It is 2,10,000. Then after computing the net annual value, every assessee is eligible to claim deduction under section 24. First one, standard deduction. So it is a standard deduction. It is fixed rate at the rate. Here the standard deduction is 30% of net annual value. 30% of net annual value. So if there is any net annual value, that particular assessee is eligible to claim 30% of net annual value as standard deduction. Okay. Then second one, interest on loan. Any loan taken for purchase of house property or construction of house property or renovation of house property or repair of house property and repayment of existing loan and any amount of interest paid during the particular previous year or any amount of interest paid for the construction period is eligible to claim deduction from the gross annual value. Here there is no limit. There is no limit. Okay. So let us see. So after computing the net annual value, the assessee can claim standard deduction. That means to 30% of net annual value. Here the 30% of net annual value is 63,000 was claimed as deduction. Then remaining is termed as house property income. Okay. So interest on borrowed loan. Here the interest on loan can claim as deduction whether it is paid or not during the previous year. On due basis, the interest on loan can claim as deduction. Pre-construction period. Any amount of interest paid during the particular previous year, if it is paid for the previous year or if it is paid for the pre-construction period, can claim as deduction. Then what is pre-construction period? The pre-construction period means the period starts from the date of loan and ends on 31st March of immediately preceding the construction end. For example, the construction of the property began in September 2014 and completed in February 2017. So the first day of the pre-construction period is September 2014. Here the loan was taken and the interest was paid during the pre-construction period was rupees 2 lakhs. Then amount of interest paid during the particular previous year 50,000. Let us see the example of pre-construction period. The first day, the September 2014 is the first day of the pre-construction period. The last day of the pre-construction period is determined on the base of construction end. Here the construction end on February 2017. So before preceding the construction, the immediate 31st March is March 2016. So this is the last day of the pre-construction period. The first day of the pre-construction period is September 2014. The last day of the pre-construction period is March 2016. So here the pre-construction period is 2014 and 15 and 2015 and 16. So any amount of interest paid during the pre-construction period can claim as deduction in 5 equal installment in the year from which the construction was completed. Here during the pre-construction period, rupees 2 lakhs was paid as interest. So the 2 lakhs interest can claim as deduction in 5 equal installment from the previous year 2016-17, 17-18, 18-19, then 18-19, 19-20. Okay. So let us see the example. Here the gross annual value already we computed 2,40,000, municipal tax 18,000, unrealized rent 12,000, then remaining balance is termed as net annual value 2,10,000. From the net annual value, that particular assessee is eligible to claim deduction under section 24. First one standard deduction, so 63,000 can claim a standard deduction, then interest on loan. As we stated in the previous example, the amount of interest paid during the previous year is 50,000. The amount of interest paid for the pre-construction period is 40,000. So the entire amount can claim as deductions from the net annual value. Here the remaining balance is termed as income from house property. Remaining value is termed as income from house property. Brother, konjam odinga. There are some house properties income are fully exempted from tax. They are income from farmhouse. Second one, annual value of one palace of ex-Indian ruler. Then third one, income from property which is used for assessee's own business or profession. Then any income from one self-occupied house. Then fifth one, income from house meant for self-resident but could not be occupied throughout the previous year on the account of his service, business or profession at any other place. And sixth one, any property belongs to local authority, scientific research association, trade union, charitable trust, political party, university or other educational institution, hospital or medical institution. These house property incomes are totally exempted from tax. Thank you.